Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to my review of the brand new SEAT Tarraco. Now, like my Citroen Berlingo review, this video originally was going to be quite long, so once more I have broken it up into two parts. This part is all about the interior space and practicality, and the second part, which will be available to watch in a few days, will be all about the driving. So without further ado, let's kick things off. Now the interior, well, in my opinion, it is a little bit boring. Now, don't get me wrong, it's finished nicely enough, but compared to a Peugeot 5008, it's not quite as inviting or enticing. But what I will say, the inside of this car is definitely more ergonomic and more functional than a 5008, so I think this car will be easier to live with day to day. That's merely my opinion. But yes, you've got soft touch materials and you've got these quite swanky seats with leather and Alcantara. I don't quite know why the Alcantara is brown. Some of you may not like that, but I don't know, I strangely like it. I'm not too sure why, but brown does seem to be an interesting choice of colour. You've got a plastic trim here which looks nice enough, but it creaks a little bit when you bend it, although let's face it, you're not going to drive around bending the plastic on the dashboard, are you? But I thought it was worth pointing out. Doesn't seem to be built overly well, but the rest of the interior, it is built well. It feels quite solid, it feels quite robust and durable, and I think it will stand up for family life. Now, whilst I'm here, I may as well talk about the practicality and the space. Of course, that is very important for a family car. So the door bins are of a very good size. I can fit in a 1.5 litre bottle of water. That fits in like a dream. And I've even got space left over, so I've got a packet of crisps here. Okay, it's only a small packet, but still, they fit in just fine. I've still got space left over, so the door bins are most definitely impressive. Down here, you've got a cubby hole where you can pop your smartphone, or I like to keep the car key down there. Now, this hasn't got a wireless phone charging pad, in case you are wondering. However, you do get a 12-volt socket, 2 USB ports, and an auxiliary port as well. In the middle, you've got these cup holders, which are quite funky. So let me get my 500 milliliter bottle of drink like so, pop it in, you press a button, and look at that. You get this clamp that comes out and surrounds your bottle. It's like something from the Q division in James Bond. Okay, it's not quite, is it? But it's still pretty cool. Now, in case you're wondering, you can't really fit a 750 milliliter bottle of drink in there. No, that's not working. I almost forgot to mention, you get a little cubby hole to the right of the steering wheel, just down here, so you can put one or two smaller items in there. You could potentially pop your wallet in, although my wallet doesn't fit in. And no, it's not because I've got loads of money. So my wallet, no, it won't go in. Although my small packet of crisps fit in just fine. And if you happen to have a debit card or a credit card that you want to pop in there, or any other small item, then it will fit in. You have a front center armrest, which is adjustable like so. You can slide it forwards or backwards, and it is also height adjustable, so you can adjust it like so, which I do find really handy. And of course, you can still slide it forwards. I do find it really comfortable, so that is a nice touch. Well done, SEAT. Lift it up though, and you get a decent amount of space, so I can fit in my wallet, my packet of crisps, and my camera. And I still have space left over. Right, let me take out my bits and bobs. You've also got a sunglasses holder up here, which is of a good size, and you've got rubber in here to help grip your glasses so they don't rattle about too much. Pop my sunglasses in like so. Very handy indeed. And of course, last but not least, you do get a glove box, which once more offers a decent amount of space. I've got my crisps, got a packet of sausage rolls, and I've still got space left over. Whilst I'm here, I may as well mention this is where you find the CD player. So as standard, you get a CD player, which in 2019 does seem a little bit old-fashioned, but if you do happen to be stuck in the 90s or the early noughties, then you've got a CD player to make use of. So overall, the interior of the Tarraco isn't overly exciting, but it is functional and practical. Now, I almost forgot to talk about the driving position. Getting a good, comfortable driving position is easy. The steering wheel adjusts for brake and reach like so. And although the driver's seat is not electronically adjustable, it is manual, I found it very easy to get comfortable pretty quickly. And I've also got a lumbar support as well. Lovely. Time to move into the middle. As always, the driver's seat has been set for me. I'm 6'2", so I am of course a taller chap. Let me step in like so, which is quite easy. The rear door opens quite nice and wide. Right. So as you can hopefully see, I've got a good amount of knee room and I've got plenty of leg room, which is very impressive indeed. So if you do happen to be a taller person, fear not, the middle of the SEAT Tarraco should be a very comfortable and spacious place for you. Headroom is also pretty good. It's not quite as ample as I would have expected, but for my height, it's still very good indeed. The middle seats also slide forwards and backwards like so. So if you want to have more boot space, or if you want to give those in the rear more legroom, you can do so. And the middle seats also recline. This seat is already reclined, so let me demonstrate how you do it. So you've got a little tab here, you pull it, and you can slide back like so. Very comfortable indeed. Right, let me set it back like so. Now, can you fit 3 adults in the rear? Sorry, not the rear, the middle. I think it may be a little bit tight, but I think it will be doable. You do have quite a thick transmission tunnel running down the middle of the car though, but I do think there is enough space for your middle passenger to straddle it without any real complaints. However, if you don't happen to have 3 in the middle and you have 1 or 2, they can make use of the centre armrest for better comfort. And of course you do get cup holders as well, so that is practical and quite versatile. Speaking of practicality, look at these. You have fold out tables on the back of the front seats. Oh, excuse you. So these will be very handy for those long family road trips, and you get a cup holder as well. Fantastic stuff. And it feels quite sturdy, so even the most heavy handed of children shouldn't break it, hopefully. So that is a feature I do really like. It's very simple yet very effective, and this comes as standard. This is not an optional extra. Also, you can set the table to this height, so you can use it as a rest for a book or a magazine or a tablet or a phone. So again, on a long family road trip, or indeed any road trip, I do think this will be a very welcome feature. The door bins are also of a good size. Once more, I can fit in my big bottle of drink like so. I've got a bit of space left over for my packet of crisps, but it doesn't stop there, because you do have a little pouch towards the bottom of the seat, which is quite tight. You won't really be able to fit much in there. You've also got climate control in the middle, because this car, as standard, comes with 3-zone climate control, and you've got a USB port and a 12-volt socket. So the middle of the Tarraco has been very, very well thought out. Well done, SEAT. So, space in the front is pretty good, and space in the middle is pretty good. But what about the rear? Help! Okay, to be fair, obviously the rear seats weren't designed for someone of my height. So these are really best served for children, or maybe smaller adults might fit in, but obviously someone of my height, yeah, no hope. Right, let's move on to the boot. So I'm going to fetch a crowbar to get myself out. Ha! I made it. So onto the boot. As I mentioned earlier, I've got the Excellence model. Therefore, as standard, I get an automatic tailgate with a feature called the virtual pedal. Basically, what that means is when you do this motion underneath the rear bumper, the tailgate should open automatically. So it's quite handy if your hands are full of shopping, or if you want to be a little bit lazy, I suppose. Right, let's give it a go. Hey presto, it's worked first time. So it's not that much of a faff. It works very easily. Some hands-free tailgates, they are quite irritating to use. You're there doing that, it looks like you're doing some weird kind of dance. People start looking and you'll feel a little bit self-conscious. Anyway, back onto the boot before I digress. So obviously in 7-seater mode, you don't get a lot of room. More specifically, you get 230 litres. To give you an idea of what you can fit in, I've got a rucksack to my left-hand side. And I've got my trusty car obsession bag. And obviously there's a bit of space left over for a few other items. But obviously if you want more space, you will need to file down the rear seats, which is very easy. You've got a lever either side, pull it, then push them down like so. Dead easy and dead quick. Now what I will say is when you have the middle row of seats slid all the way back, the rear seats don't go down too easily. So you will have to make sure the middle seats are slid a little bit forwards to make it easier. Got a very loud helicopter approaching, I do apologise, but I will continue. Once you've done this, you get 700 litres worth of space, which is a good amount of room, but it's not quite as large as the Skoda Kodiaq or the Peugeot 5008. If you want to go the whole shebang and have this as a two-seater, let's say you've got a really large dump run to do, or you just need to carry a lot of items, you can do so. So to fold down the middle row of seats is very easy. Once more, you've got levers you can pull. You've got one on either side. It does need quite a firm tug, which does sound a little bit suggestive. Now, once you do that, the seats do fall down, but they don't actually collapse fully. You have to go around and finish the job off by hand, which is a little bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Once you do so, you will get 1,775 litres worth of space. Better still, the front passenger seat can fold down as well. So let's say you've got a large piece of wood you need to slide into the car, you can do so. Again, pretty practical, pretty handy, and very versatile. You also get a 12-volt socket in the back. You don't get a spare wheel as standard, but you do get a tyre repair kit. Now, the opening for the boot is nice and wide, the load lip is low, there's no nasty step into the boot, although you do have a bit of a groove where you've got the cover where you can store the luggage cover. Now, when you have the car in 5-seater mode, you do of course get a luggage cover to help keep your items away from prying eyes. So that's stored underneath here, but of course that can be popped here. I will cut to a clip where you can see it. But when you don't need it or when it isn't in use, you can store it down here, out of sight and out of mind. There's also a hook in here so you can hang up your shopping so it doesn't roll about as you drive along. Right, let's close the tailgate like so. Now, in case you're wondering, you don't have to do that motion. You can use the button here, and there's also a button on the inside to close it. But I do that just because I can. Why not? Right, moving on. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. The driving part of this review should come in a few days' time, so be sure to look out for it. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And if you did like this video, be sure to like it and to ring my bell so you get notified every time I make a video. Until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.